Hey, Ella.
Hi, Jake. Okay, can I ask you something that has been on my mind?
Of course, what is it?
So, last week I was at this client event and I ended up standing next to someone, a client I had never spoken to before.
How did it go?
It started well, actually. We talked for maybe a minute, it felt natural.
Okay, good start.
But then I did not know whether to keep going or move on. I did not want to overstay the moment.
What did you do?
I just said, anyway, nice to meet you, and walked away.
I know that feeling exactly.
But was that the right thing to do? I still do not know.
Honestly, I'm never sure either. And this is the thing about small talk at work. It's completely different from regular small talk.
Right. We actually did a whole episode on small talk before. How to start conversations, what to say next, how to end politely.
But workplace small talk has a completely different layer on top of all that.
Because the relationship changes everything. A client is different from a colleague. A colleague is different from your manager.
And the rules change every single time.
And that's exactly what we're getting into today. By the end of this conversation, you'll know what those rules are and why getting workplace small talk matters for your career, not just your social life.
Welcome to the English Speaking Show. So, why does workplace small talk feel so different from regular small talk?
Because in regular small talk, the cafe, the bus, the neighbor, you just want to be friendly. That is enough.
But at work,
You also want to be smart about it. The relationship changes almost every decision you make.
show me what you mean.
Okay, a colleague you know well, Monday morning, kitchen. What do you say?
Good weekend? Mine was quiet. Finally got some rest. You?
Perfect. Easy, warm, personal. That works because you know each other. You have shared history.
And light complaints are fine too. That last meeting could have been an email.
Everyone says that. And with someone you know well, it bonds you. You are both in it together.
But with someone you barely know at work?
More careful. You're forming a first impression. Try, how long have you been with the company? Or what are you working on at the moment? Safe, professional, genuinely curious.
Genuinely curious. Nothing too personal too quickly.
Exactly. No, are you married? No, where are you from originally? Those feel intrusive too early, even if they are completely normal in your culture outside work.
What topics are always safe in any workplace situation?
The commute is always safe. How was your commute this morning? Everyone has a commute story. Food is always safe. Have you tried that new place downstairs? Travel is great. Do you have any trips coming up? And work itself, framed positively. How did that project go? Is always fine.
And what should you never bring up?
Politics, religion, salary, complaints about a specific colleague, these can cause real problems, even with someone you completely trust.
Why even with someone you trust?
Because things travel in offices. You say something to one person, they mention it to someone else, and suddenly it reaches the wrong person. It happens constantly.
So keep it brief and impersonal.
One moment of commiseration, fine. Busy week, right? Completely fine. But going deep into specific complaints, that's where it gets dangerous.
What about when someone asks, "How are you?" and work is actually terrible? Do I have to pretend everything is fine?
No, but there is a difference between your honest answer and your professional answer. Let me show you.
Okay.
Your honest answer? Terrible week. The project is falling apart and my manager keeps changing his mind. Your professional answer? Honestly, it has been a tough week. A lot going on, but nearly Friday, so that helps.
Both are honest. One works in the office, one does not.
The professional answer shares the feeling without the detail, and it always ends on something forward. Nearly Friday, getting there, should be better next week.
So instead of "fine, thank you," which kills the conversation,
Try pretty good, bit busy, you? Or not bad, long morning but getting there, how about you? Brief, real, and always return the question.
because small talk is two-way.
Always. You answer and you hand it back. That is the rhythm.
Okay, I have to tell you something that happened to me a few weeks ago.
Tell me.
A colleague stopped me in the corridor. He said, "Jake, that report was really well written. I enjoyed reading it."
Nice. What did you say?
I said, "Oh, it was nothing. I just put a few things together. You were too kind."
Oh, no.
What? I was being humble.
I know, but in English-speaking professional culture, deflecting a compliment like that makes the other person feel uncomfortable.
How?
When you say, "Oh, it was nothing," you are telling them their judgment was wrong. They noticed something real. They took a moment to say it out loud, and you just dismissed it.
So he walked away feeling like he said something wrong.
Probably confused, and you walked away confused, but neither of you did anything wrong. It's just a cultural gap.
So what should I have said?
Simple. Thank you. That means a lot. That's it. Nothing more needed.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Hear how that lands differently?
It sounds more confident, actually.
Because it is confident. Accepting a compliment gracefully is a professional skill in English-speaking culture. It is not arrogant, it's gracious.
What if someone says, "Great presentation today, Jake"? What do I say?
Try, "Thank you, I appreciate that." Or, "Thanks, it was a tough one to prepare, but I'm glad it landed well." You accept it, you add one small, genuine sentence. Done.
And if a colleague does something well, how do I compliment them without it sounding fake?
Be specific. Good work means nothing, but your opening in that presentation was really strong. You had everyone's attention immediately. That person will remember that for a week.
Or, "That was a tough client situation. You handled it really well."
Specificity means genuine. Generic means forgettable.
And for many of us from cultures where humility is deeply valued, accepting a compliment confidently still feels wrong.
If deflecting compliments is your instinct, you are not alone. Most of us from non-Western backgrounds feel exactly the same way. But in English-speaking professional culture, "Thank you, that means a lot," is the correct response. It is the professional standard. You are not showing off, you are being gracious.
What about conversation fillers? Things like, "By the way," or "Speaking of which." Native speakers use these all the time, but I never know when.
Those are transition words. They keep conversations moving naturally. By the way, when you want to add something or change the topic slightly. Did you see the new office layout, by the way?
Speaking of which, when something connects to what was just said, "I need coffee." Speaking of which, have you tried that new place downstairs?
Exactly. And anyway, when you want to wrap up or redirect. Anyway, how is your afternoon looking?
So instead of an awkward silence when the topic dies,
You use one of those and the conversation moves again, naturally. No gap.
in regular small talk, you want to be friendly. In workplace small talk, you also want to be smart about it.
That is exactly it.
But I have to be honest, the situation I dread most is not with a colleague. It is with someone senior, my manager, a director, a client. That is where I completely freeze.
Good, because that is exactly where we are going next.
So senior level small talk. Why is that so much harder?
It is not the language. Most people assume it is. It is not.
What is it then?
Not knowing what is appropriate, what to ask, how deep to go. Let me show you what I mean.
Okay.
You pass your manager in the corridor. He is carrying coffee. You have maybe 30 seconds. What do you say?
Good morning?
That is fine, but you can do more. Try morning. Busy day ahead?
Simple. Gives him something to answer.
Agreed. And if he says yes, back-to-back meetings, you say good luck with it and keep walking. Done, clean, warm.
You do not need to have a full conversation.
A 30-second corridor exchange done well is better than a 5-minute conversation that feels awkward.
What if you have a bit more time, like waiting for the lift together?
Then you can go one level deeper. Something work-related but specific. I heard the client meeting went well yesterday. Must be a relief? Or how is the new project looking from your end?
Because it shows you are paying attention to what's happening in the company.
Generic questions go nowhere. Do you enjoy your job? That's a dead end. Specific questions open doors.
I have actually said, "Do you enjoy your job?" to a senior person before.
What happened?
They said yes, and then silence for 2 floors.
We've all been there. Okay, now the director, someone very senior. You're at a company event, you end up standing next to them.
That's the terrifying one.
I have to tell you what happened to me a few months ago. Company drinks, senior director I had never spoken to properly. I started well, asked about the project. He answered.
And then?
I panicked and asked, "Do you enjoy your job?"
No!
He said, "Yes, very much," and then complete silence. I wanted to disappear.
What should you have said instead?
Something specific. How do you think the project landed with the client? That would have worked. Or, I heard the launch went really well. Was it as intense as it looked from the outside?
Because those questions show you're thinking, not just filling silence.
With someone very senior, the question has to do real work. Show you are curious about something specific, not just making noise.
And when they answer, how do you keep it going?
One follow-up question. That is the whole skill. You do not need 10 things to say, just one genuine follow-up on what they just told you.
So if they say, yes, the launch went well, but it was extremely stressful, I say,
What do you say?
what was the hardest part?
Perfect. Now you have a real conversation, not small talk anymore, a genuine exchange, and it all started from one specific question.
And the client situation, before a meeting.
The client is different again. They are evaluating you, even when it feels like just chat. So you start with the easy things first. How was the journey? Did you find us okay? While they settle, can I get you something? Tea, coffee, water?
Make them comfortable before anything else.
Agreed. Then something light and genuine. If you know something about their company, use it. I saw your company announce the new product launch last week. Exciting time for you. Or simply, how are things going at your end generally?
And you mentioned remembering things from last time? That works with clients too?
Especially with clients. If they mentioned something in the last meeting, even in passing, bring it back. Last time you mentioned you were traveling a lot. Has that settled down?
That changes everything, because now it's not small talk. It's, I see you as a person, not just a meeting.
Exactly, and that's what clients remember.
What about Monday morning? That's its own situation.
Monday morning is the most scripted small talk in any office. The same exchange happens everywhere.
Show me.
Good weekend.
Yeah, pretty good. Quiet one. You?
Not bad. Went to see my brother, actually.
Oh, nice. Does he live far?
See? One follow-up and it becomes a real exchange, not just good, you, good.
And Friday?
Friday is forward-looking. Any plans for the weekend? Everyone is lighter on Friday. And listen carefully to what they say.
Why?
Because what they tell you on Friday is gold for Monday morning. Hey, didn't you say you were going to that match? How was it?
And they know you remembered. That one detail does more for a professional relationship than any perfectly constructed opener.
Agreed. Small moments, big effect.
And before a meeting officially starts, those 2 minutes while everyone is settling in,
Highest value window in professional life. Research shows casual conversation before a formal meeting actually improves the whole meeting. People relax, trust forms, the discussion flows better.
so you should not just sit there on your phone.
Definitely not. Try, have you been following the news about the industry this week? Interesting timing for this meeting. Or, how has your morning been? Back to back, or did you get a break?
And when it is time to start,
One natural phrase. Shall we get started? Or, I think everyone is here. Shall we dive in? No big announcement. The conversation just arrives at the business.
Okay. One thing I do at work, when I need to ask my manager something, I always say, I was wondering if I could, instead of just asking directly. Is that right?
It is exactly right. And here's why.
Tell me.
I want Monday off.
Sounds like a demand. I was wondering if I could take Monday off. Sounds professional and respectful. I was hoping we could reschedule that meeting. Soft, not pushy. I was thinking we might move the deadline slightly. Tentative, collaborative.
So I have been doing this correctly without knowing why.
If you have ever said, I was wondering if, at work, you were already speaking like a professional. You just didn't know the reason. The past tense creates distance. It sounds like the thought was forming, not a fresh, direct demand. Native speakers do this constantly.
And when a colleague mentions something difficult, a tough week, a bad situation, what do you actually say?
Keep it brief and warm. Try, that sounds like a lot. Hope it gets easier. Or, oof, tough week. Hang in there. 2 sentences. You showed you heard them, you did not probe. And then,
Move on naturally.
agreed. Anyway, how's the rest of your day looking? Done.
And how do you end a conversation cleanly? Just walk away?
You end before they want you to. You feel the conversation wrapping up, and you go first. Anyway, I'll let you get back to it. Right, good to catch up. Have a good one. Speak soon.
Warm, brief, complete.
And they remember the conversation well because you read the moment correctly and left at the right time.
In regular small talk, you want to be friendly. In workplace small talk, you also want to be smart about it.
Every single time.
Okay, I think it is time to see all of this in action.
To real situations, the kind that actually happen.
And the kind that used to make us nervous.
Used to. Right. What is the first one?
You have a one-on-one meeting with your manager in 2 minutes. You are both in the meeting room early. The meeting has not started yet.
That 2-minute window.
I am your manager. You start.
Ready. Morning. How has your day been so far?
Not bad. Busy already. Back to back since 9.
That is a long morning. Did you at least get coffee?
Just about. 1 cup. Barely counts.
I heard the Henderson pitch went really well yesterday, by the way.
It did, actually. Better than we expected. The client had a lot of good questions.
Oh, really? What kind of questions were they asking?
Mostly around implementation timeline, which is actually a good sign. Means they're thinking seriously about it.
That makes sense. Sounds like it landed well.
I think so. Anyway, I think everyone is here. Shall we get started?
Yes, let's dive in.
Okay. What did you notice?
The question about the Henderson pitch, specific, not how is work going, something that showed I knew what was happening.
And you didn't just move on after she answered. You followed up. What kind of questions were they asking?
Because the follow-up is the whole skill. That's what keeps it going.
And then the transition. She said, shall we get started? And you went straight in. No awkwardness, no lingering.
The conversation just arrived at the meeting. Nobody announced it.
That's exactly how it should feel. What about the coffee question? Did you at least get coffee? Is that too casual for a manager? No, because it came from what she said. She mentioned the busy morning. You reacted to what was already there. That's not too casual. That's listening well.
React to what's in front of you. Don't invent topics.
The best small talk always uses what's already in the room.
Okay, second one.
Monday morning, office kitchen. I'm a colleague you see every day but are not very close to. I mentioned something difficult. You have to navigate it.
Got it. Ready.
Morning, Jake.
Morning. How was your weekend?
Honestly, not great. Some family stuff going on. Nothing serious, but yeah, tiring.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that. Hope things settle down soon.
Thanks. Anyway, how about you?
Mine was good, actually. Quiet one. Got some rest, finally.
That sounds nice.
Hey, didn't you say last week you were thinking of trying that new restaurant near the office?
Oh, yes. I actually went on Saturday.
How was it?
Really good. The food was great. Took a while to get a table, but worth it.
Good to know. I will try it this week, maybe.
You should. Definitely worth it.
Anyway, I'll let you get your coffee. Good to catch up.
You too. Have a good Monday.
You too. Hope the week is better. Okay, what happened there?
She mentioned something difficult. family stuff. You did not probe. You did not ask what happened. You did not share your own similar story immediately.
Just, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope things settle down soon. 2 sentences. Warm, not heavy.
And then she redirected herself. Anyway, how about you? And the conversation moved forward naturally.
And then the memory trick.
That was the moment. Didn't you say last week you were thinking of trying that restaurant? She visibly brightened.
Because it said I was paying attention last week. You mattered to me beyond this one conversation.
And it gave her something easy to talk about after a difficult moment. That is the skill. You created a natural exit from the difficult topic without forcing it.
And the ending. Anyway, I'll let you get your coffee. Good to catch up.
And you ended first, before the silence could arrive.
Always end before the silence.
Agreed. 2 completely different situations, different relationship, different emotional moment, different rules, but the same core skill running through both.
What is the core skill?
Paying attention to what's actually in front of you, reacting to it genuinely, and knowing when to move.
In regular small talk, you want to be friendly. In workplace small talk, you also want to be smart about it.
Every single time.
Okay, let us bring this all together.
Workplace small talk is not the same as regular small talk. The relationship changes the rules every single time.
A colleague you know well, more casual, more honest. Light commiseration is fine.
A colleague you barely know, safe topics, open questions, nothing too personal too quickly.
A manager or a director, work-related, specific, show you are paying attention to what is actually happening.
And a client. Warm, genuine, remember something from last time. Make them feel like a person, not a meeting.
And the skills that run through all of it,
One specific follow-up question. The memory trick. Bring back something they mentioned before. React before you ask. And end before the silence arrives.
and the compliment rule, do not deflect. Just say,
Thank you, that means a lot.
in regular small talk, you want to be friendly. In workplace small talk, you also want to be smart about it.
And one more thing. If you have ever said, I was wondering if I could, to your manager,
You were already speaking like a professional. You just did not know why.
now you do.
You know, we did an episode on small talk before, how to start conversations, what to say next, how to end politely. That was the foundation.
This episode was the next level. Same skills, but now you know the rules that change depending on who was in the room.
So here's your challenge for this week. One workplace small talk moment. Could be your manager in the corridor, a colleague in the kitchen, a client before a meeting starts.
Try one thing from today. The follow-up question, the memory trick, accepting a compliment without deflecting.
And then tell us in the comments, what was the situation? What did you try? How did it feel?
We read every single comment, every one.
Mine this week. Next time someone compliments my work, I'm saying, thank you. That means a lot. No more, oh, it was nothing.
And mine, I'm going back to that director. Different event, better question this time.
Not, do you enjoy your job?
Definitely not that. Something specific, something that shows I was paying attention.
If this conversation helped you, subscribe. We do this every week. New topic, same 2 hosts, same cozy studio.
Take care, everyone.
See you in the next one.